She stood alone on the cold platform, clutching a small bag, unaware that one conversation with a stranger would rewrite her entire destiny. Before this story continues, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more emotional stories that change lives. The old train station breathed memories of 1,000 goodbyes. Steam rose into the golden evening sky, wrapping the platform in mist, as if the past itself refused to leave. Emily stood near the edge, fingers trembling, not from the cold, but from the weight of everything she had lost in the last 24 hours. She had no ticket home. Because there was no home left. The letter still burned in her pocket. "We don't need you anymore." 5 simple words. 5 daggers. Her father was gone. Her stepmother had sold the house. And now, the town that raised her had quietly pushed her away. Emily swallowed hard as the whistle of the approaching train echoed. She didn't know where she was going, only that staying meant breaking. That was when she noticed him. A man stood a few steps away, tall and quiet, wearing a worn cowboy hat pulled low over serious eyes. His blue shirt was dust-stained, his hands rough, but there was something calm about him, like someone who had faced storms and survived. He looked at her, not like others did. Not with pity. Not with judgment. Just understanding. Emily turned away quickly, embarrassed by the tears threatening to fall. "Leaving town?" His voice was low, steady. She hesitated. "I guess so." He nodded slowly. Sometimes leaving is the only way to survive. Those words cracked something inside her. She laughed softly, bitterly. "You don't even know me." He looked toward the train, smoke curling behind it. "I don't need to. Pain sounds the same on everyone." Emily wiped her eyes. "I'm Emily." "Luke," he replied. "Nice to meet you, even if the circumstances aren't." They stood in silence, the noise of the station fading around them. "Where are you headed?" she asked. Luke paused. "West. Work on a ranch. Honest work. Quiet life." She nodded, envy flickering across her face. "Sounds certain." He studied her for a moment. "You don't look like someone who's ever been given certainty." Emily sighed. "I was supposed to get married next month." Luke's eyes darkened. "Supposed to?" "He left," she said simply. "Said I was too broken for his future." Luke clenched his jaw. "Then he wasn't man enough for your present." For the first time that day, Emily smiled, just a little. The train hissed loudly now, doors beginning to open. Luke reached into his pocket and pulled out a folded ticket. He hesitated, then held it out. "Take this." Emily stared. "I can't." "You can," he said. "I'll manage." She shook her head. "You don't even know me." Luke smiled faintly. "I know enough." A long pause. The world seemed to hold its breath. Finally, Emily took the ticket. "Thank you," she whispered. "I'll pay you back." He tipped his hat. "Just promise me something." "What?" "Don't let people who couldn't love you decide what you're worth." Her eyes filled again. The conductor called out. "All aboard." Emily turned toward the train, then looked back. "Will I ever see you again?" she asked. Luke met her gaze. "Life has a funny way of reconnecting broken paths." She stepped onto the train, heart racing. As it pulled away, Emily pressed her palm to the window, watching Luke grow smaller on the platform, unaware that this stranger had just become the turning point of her life. And Luke stood there long after the train disappeared, wondering why letting her go hurt more than anything he'd lost before. If this story touched your heart, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel, because the next part will change everything. Emily thought leaving the town would erase her pain. She was wrong. Because sometimes, destiny doesn't let go that easily. Before we continue, like this video and subscribe to our channel for powerful stories that heal broken hearts. The train rocked gently as it cut through endless fields and fading sunlight. Emily sat by the window, fingers wrapped tightly around the ticket Luke had given her like it was the only real thing left in her life. She replayed his words again and again. Don't let people who couldn't love you decide what you're worth. Tears slid silently down her cheeks. She didn't know where she was going. The ticket ended in a small western town she'd never heard of. But for the first time in days, she felt safe. A new town, old pain. The train slowed with a sharp hiss. Emily stepped onto the platform of a dusty town surrounded by white skies and quiet roads. No noise. No rush. Just wind, earth, and distance. She took a deep breath. This is it, she whispered. A small boarding house stood across the road. The owner, an elderly woman named Mrs. Carter, greeted her kindly. You look like someone who's run out of places, the woman said gently. Emily nodded. I just need a start. Mrs. Carter smiled. Sometimes, that's enough. Emily found work at a local diner. The pay was small, but the routine helped. Pouring coffee. Cleaning tables. Smiling at strangers who knew nothing about her broken engagement or shattered past. At night, she lay awake thinking of Luke. Why had he helped her? Why did his eyes look like they carried regrets heavier than her own? Luke's past, meanwhile. Luke rode west under a burning sun, dust clinging to his boots and memories clinging to his soul. He wasn't always a quiet man. Years ago, he had a family. A small ranch. A woman he loved deeply. Then came the fire. A faulty lantern. Dry wood. One careless moment and everything he built went up in flames. His wife didn't survive. Luke never forgave himself. Since then, he never stayed anywhere long. Never allowed himself to care. Until Emily. He didn't understand why her pain felt familiar. Maybe because broken people recognize each other. At the ranch where Luke found work, nights were the hardest. Silence had a way of bringing ghosts. He stared at the stars and wondered if Emily had reached her destination safely. Fate whispers again. Weeks passed. Emily grew stronger. Customers started remembering her name. She laughed more. Smiled easier. But one afternoon, a man walked into the diner, and her world tilted. It was Mark. Her ex-fiancé. Her heart dropped. Emily, he said, shocked. I've been looking for you. The room felt smaller. You left me, she said quietly. I made a mistake, Mark replied. I panicked. My parents. She raised her hand. Stop. People stared. Emily's hands shook, but her voice didn't. You didn't leave because you were scared. You left because you didn't believe in me. Mark sighed. Come back. We can fix this. For a moment, she almost believed him. Then Luke's voice echoed in her mind. Know your worth. I'm not broken, Emily said firmly. I'm rebuilding. Mark looked stunned as she walked away. That night, Emily cried, not from weakness, but release. If you're feeling this story, like the video and subscribe, because what happens next will shock you. The reunion. Months later, fate moved quietly. A storm rolled into town, heavy and sudden. Emily rushed outside the diner to secure chairs when she saw a familiar figure across the street. Tall. Broad shoulders. Cowboy hat. Her breath caught. Luke, she whispered. He turned. For a second, neither of them moved. Luke barely had time to react before she threw her arms around him. He froze, then slowly hugged her back, tighter than he meant to. You're okay, he said, relief flooding his voice. You came, she replied. I was passing through, he said, lying badly. They talked for hours. Shared stories. Laughed. He told her about the ranch. She told him about the diner. About Mark. Luke listened silently, jaw tight. He doesn't deserve you, Luke said finally. Emily looked at him. Neither do half the people who walked away. Their eyes met. Something unspoken passed between them. But Luke stepped back. I shouldn't stay, he said. I'm not good at staying. Emily's heart sank. Running doesn't erase pain, Luke. He looked away. It keeps it from hurting others. That night, Luke packed his bag. But before sunrise, Mrs. Carter knocked on Emily's door. Luke was injured, she said urgently. Horse accident. Emily didn't think. She ran. At the ranch, Luke lay unconscious, blood on his temple. Emily held his hand, tears falling freely. Don't you dare leave, she whispered. Not like this. You stayed, he murmured weakly. Because you matter, she said. To me. His eyes opened slowly. Emily. I don't want to lose you. She smiled through tears. Then don't. If you believe second chances are real, like this video and subscribe to our channel, because part 3 will bring the most emotional ending yet.